Chair, so onto the agenda then. Apologies, which we've already done. The minutes of the last meeting we on the 8th of February. I don't want to rush. Any items on the minutes, Chair?
I haven't got any. Does anybody else have any?
No.
And those are seconders? Yep. Any declarations of interest? No. Okay, right. Back to you, Clive.
Thank you, Chair. On to item 4 on the agenda, which is my report. The first item on the agenda is B, with attendance of members. This is a report about the attendance which have been below 60%. You'll see from the report that 6 county councillors had an attendance below 60%. 3 had absences due to personal reasons, and the other 3 were written to. One of them had proved that their attendance was above 60%, therefore leaving one which has explained their absence due to personal reasons, and another which has not done so because on holiday. Any update on that, Carol?
That member is back today from holiday, so we need to write to them again.
Chair, so with permission of the committee, we will do so, and we'll report back on the next meeting. Are there any other comments upon that attendance record as specified in the report? Chair, I should be saying I've been really presumptuous in assuming that personal reasons was acceptable to the committee. I hope it is.
Yeah. Have they actually told you what the personal reasons are?
Carol does know. Carol knows.
Yeah, and well, the 3 officers know, Clive, and also the head of Democratic Services, and the one that we wrote to that has come back to say it's personal reasons. Yes, it's the similar reasons to the other members. Yeah.
And you both find those acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, Councillor Bev has indicated.
Oh, Councillor Beverley.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. Just a quick comment, really. Could we not impress on people just to, if they are, it's fine if you've got a personal reason, it's not a problem, but if they could just explain in advance or ask for an absence of leave, then it would probably be easier for the system, would it not? I just wonder if we might be able to remind members of that, maybe, or the group leaders or something.
Yeah, we can do that. Certainly, Councillor Bev.
This might be easier to save going through this process, really, because if there is a problem, it's fine, isn't it?
I have to say most members do inform us of their personal reasons, and we recently did have a member who asked for a leave of absence, which is approved by full council. If you recall, Councillor Bev. I do. You were in the chair, I think.
Yeah, maybe it's just new members didn't know, but it was just a comment, really. So yeah, thanks.
Okay. Chair, on to referrals. The Ombudsman members will see that we do have one referral to the APW, which is being considered by the APW on the 6th of July. I can tell members that that will not be a public meeting. It's going to be dealt with on the papers, and I will, of course, advise of the outcome in due course.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, the next one, no applications for dispensation. Then we do have a vacancy in the Standards Community Subcommittee. There has been expressions of interest, and a vote was held, which closed on the 19th of June. And I'd ask Carol to explain to the committee the outcome of that vote.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Clive. So there were 2 candidates for the vacancy, Karen Coldrick from Langamach Wells Community Council and Evan Silk from Cumvee and District Community Council. And the votes came in, and Karen Coldrick was voted onto the subcommittee.
Chair, in the circumstances, I'd ask the committee to accept Karen as the new member.
Yep. Thank you.
Chair, you'll also see that we've had a resignation from Councillor Nigel Dodman, which means that there is a further community council election to be held, and you'll see in the report the timetable for that to take place, and that appointment will be considered by this committee on the 25th of October 23.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, I've already dealt with the Ombudsman's findings, and so on to the National Forum for Standards Committee. Chair, the meeting took place on the 27th of January. The minutes are in Appendix 1, which members will find at page 11 of this bundle. I think, Chair, you've already given your own reflection of what happened in the meeting, and the next meeting is scheduled for the 30th of June.
Any questions or comments on that? Okay.
Chair, the next item on the agenda is a consultation with regard to the Pen Review response. Members will have seen from the report that the consultation ends on the 23rd of June, and so this is coming. Apologies that this is coming to you very late in the day. Members, if you have opened up the consultation documentation, it says itself, and we've previously looked at the 12 recommendations which were contained in the Pen report. I can deal with this in a number of ways, Chair. I can go through the recommendations of the Pen Review with response from Welsh Government, but in reality, there are a number of questions which are found towards the end of the document, which are part of the consultation process. Members may or may not have had the opportunity to read through that document. It would be helpful to have comments from the Standards Committee, which we could submit before the 23rd. Happy to go through it now, or happy also to take written representations or comments from members of the Standards Committee, so that we can meet that 23rd deadline. I can advise you that Monitoring Officers Group for all authorities in Wales have already commented on the consultation process.
Right. Would it be worth just going through some of the more interesting questions? There's quite a lot in them.
Well, there are 20 questions in total, Chair. Councillor Liz is trying to speak, Chair.
Council is. You're on mute.
Apologies, Chair. I'm also short of time, and I have sort of scheduled until about 1:45, you know, in case meeting ran over. I have had a look at the document, and I'd be quite happy to send in comments before the 23rd if that would help to move this meeting on, rather than us go through all 20 questions now.
I think, Chairman, that might be a way of handling it. There are quite a few recommendations where no action is proposed, or in fact action is proposed by the. So it's only a certain subset where specific views are invited, and it would take some time for us to go through that as a committee.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy to also submit views to Clive.
Okay, well, I would as well, actually.
Thank you, Chair. In normal circumstances, we probably would have had an extra 3/4 of an hour to deal with this, but it's what it is, and I'm grateful for the committee taking a practical approach. If you can send your submissions to both me and Carol, and we'll make sure that we get them within in the timescale.
Thank you.
Chair, the last item on my report is to confirm the date of the meeting. The next meeting is the 25th of October.
Okay.
And then back to the agenda, Chair. So we're on item 5. It's in relation to the annual meeting with group leaders, and a summary which has been published, which members will see at pages 15 to 16. I think members of the committee will have had this for a little while. Are there any comments upon that summary?
I think it covered the main things that we talked about at the time.
Thank you, Chair. Well, in which case, we're on to item 6 on the agenda, and we are speeding through it now. I do apologise. You've got to stop me if you think that we're not giving this the attention that it deserves. The next item on the agenda is item 6, which is the annual report to council, which will go to the next meeting of council on the 20th of July. Members will have seen the first draft. And they made comments, and this is the second draft following the receipt of those comments. Are there any further comments?
I just have one question, Chairman.
Yeah.
On page 2021, which is recommendations made by the Ombudsman or APW, Clive. Why are some but not all councillors named in the paragraph at the top of page 21? So we've named County Councillor Karen Laurie Parry, but then not 2 others, and then and obviously I get it, fair enough to name Councillor Shirley Jenkins as that was an APW case. But it's just what's the rationale about naming and not naming?
I think that the issue is whether the name is currently in the public domain, and insofar as the first one is concerned, I'm not sure if it is in the public domain yet.
Fine, okay. Obviously, if you just wanted to check that.
Yes, but Jonathan, you're absolutely right. We need to treat everybody the same, and if the name is already in the public domain, we should include it, and we will check. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any observations on the report? Anything that we've missed or needs to be added or removed?
Chair, are you happy to accept it?
Yeah, I can't remember when we spoke in our pre-meeting about reviewing gifts. That's in the next agenda.
That's in the next agenda.
Yeah, but we don't. So we don't have to do it in the report because we've not done it before.
Yep.
And can I also confirm the dates, because we had some discussion about attendance record and the different time frames. But at the beginning, I read afterwards, this report is going to the 22nd of May or something, isn't it? 1st of April,
July, 20th of July, Chair.
So those attendance records will be in that period.
Yeah, so I checked because this annual report should be for 12 months from the 1st of April 2022 to the 31st of March 2023. And I've checked the attendance records for members, and it was again that there were 3 members that had attendance levels below 60%, but they were the personal reasons. Another one was for personal reasons, and then there was the one that was hasn't advised us because they've been away on holiday. It was just those. There's 4 for personal reasons and 1 that hasn't advised us as to the reasons for their absences.
Just have to be included in the
so it's the same.
We'll amend the report to reflect that, Chair, and thank you for raising that earlier.
No, I think that's all. Unless there was a comment there about group leaders, we could say that the group leaders welcome the opportunity to meet with the Standards Committee.
Certainly, we can do that. We'll amend the report if members agree that that's what we should amend it to. I can't see why not. Should we Councillor Bev?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, Councillor William and I, we haven't provided a sort of a biography or however we want to call it, but that would be appropriate if we were not included, because if it's for last year, it's
Last year.
retrospective. So I wonder if we should just, because it looks a bit, we've been asked, but perhaps we should just be removed, should we, or from that section?
Happy either way, Councillor Bev, if you were to provide one or not, and if you don't want to provide one for this week, we'll take you out.
Well, I'm happy, but I'll take your direction, really.
It depends whether you could do it in the time scale.
Well, I could probably do it this afternoon, but I just didn't want to be interrupting when it's a retrospective, if that makes sense. But if it's looking for the future, that's fine. So I'll take your lead. If you want one, you just need to tell Councillor William and I to do it.
I think it would be helpful if you could do it as soon as possible.
Fine, I will do it ASAP.
Thank you, Councillor Bev.
The other issue is because the committee wanted to report on the meeting with group leaders. That meeting with group leaders was after the
Yes.
the annual report. So we've actually extended the annual report to enable you as a committee to report now on the meeting with group leaders.
It's an anomaly, Carol,
Yeah.
and I think that the Standards Committee can report on what it wants to do, and I think it's appropriate in these circumstances.
Yeah. So it's not just the 12 months. It's up to the 12th of June. So Councillor Bev and Councillor William are part of this committee now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Differences
Carol,
in dates.
could you just confirm that with William, and we'll get
Yes,
it done by the end of the week. We will get it done.
Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Thanks ever
That's
so
lovely.
much.
Thank you.
Of course, it being the first report, there's always going to be one or two anomalies, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
It should be more straightforward next year. Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Carol for putting it together. I suspect it was largely you, Carol. Yes.
Absolutely.
I think it gives a really good overview of the committee, and you know, it is our first report, so thank you very much.
Yes, we concur. Thank you. You've worked hard on that.
Yes.
Right. Anything else, Clive?
Chair, and we're then on to the annual review of the register of interests. Chair, again, I think the report is self-explanatory. I know more members will have read it. Are there any comments that members want to make?
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. No? All right, move on to item 8. Annual review of the use of general dispensations.
Chair, Carol has done a trawl of when our general dispensations, which have been granted by the committee, have been used, but it's late. It was a late survey or review, and so Carol will be able to give us an oral update. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. So yes, I've asked colleagues who are the committee clerks for all the various committees, and having looked at all of the committees, there's been one general dispensation used. It was the school governor dispensation for councillors who are school governors appointed otherwise than by the council, and that was used by one member at a council meeting.
Chair, I think it's indicative of the fact that general dispensations are really relevant at the time of a particular meeting. You grant the general dispensation, and then that item then falls out of vogue and therefore is not used again, or rarely used again. But they are there and are reissued by the Standards Committee per term of council. But I think it's important we do have this as an annual review, and we'll put it on the agenda for this time next year.
Okay. Thank you, Clive. Anything else, or have we come to the end?
Chair, that's the end of the agenda for me, unless anybody has any AOB that they want to raise.
Anybody want to raise anything? No? Okay,
Chair.
well, sorry, Clive.